It's important to me that people use they, them. For me.
Nightshade's pronouns are they, them.
He or she just doesn't fit who I
I also
am.
use they and them because calling me a she or a he doesn't feel right.
Chinese, Mexican, agender, intersex, AFAB. My pronoun is they.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
It's no secret. The LGBTQ activists are continuing to produce woke movies and TV shows with the intent of indoctrinating your children. With the popularization of gender theory, we first went from a crisis of people demanding to use different bathrooms so they can do their private business in the company of the opposite sex, to now the incessant demanding of using different and made-up pronouns that, when not used correctly, is often deemed as violence. The constant clarification of pronoun use in conversations not only ignores proper grammar, but also basic common sense. It's amazing how we were able to communicate as humans for centuries with a simple greeting of hello or a simple handshake. Now, the self-centered woke mob wants us to greet each other with an awkward dance of exchanging pronouns as we pretend this is all real and normal. I can think of another species with an awkward greeting ritual. Episode 4 of The Acolyte was no exception to the constant need for the woke mob to include a talk about pronouns.
Esposo, is he or they with us?
It's a rodent. The character is a little tracking rodent that just sniffs things and squeaks. Yes, let's include a throwaway line of dialogue to show how kind and inclusive our characters are to assume a rodent might care enough to go by the title they. As much as the creators of The Acolyte want you to think it's normal to be constantly thinking about your pronouns and the pronouns of others, that is just not how the real world works. The majority of the world does not walk around constantly thinking about their made-up titles that the woke mob demands others to call them by, which leads to adult temper tantrums when they do not get their way. How did we become so self-centered that a portion of the population wants to label you a bigot for questioning the alphabet soup mafia and having the audacity to believe in basic biology? How dare you? The self-centered activists pushing this agenda practically live and operate in the cyber world, where everyone is so self-obsessed as they type out their bios and their made-up pronouns on every platform. On Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, you can be rest assured to always see a she, they, or a he, it, or a D's nuts, or whatever lingo the kids are using these days, proudly displayed on someone's bio. Posting pronouns in your bio, in their eyes, labels them as an ally to the cause, and their opinions can be spread unchallenged. Criticisms of the inclusion of pronouns has often been met with not only a flood of intolerable yapping from some unintelligent, self-centered profiles boasting colored hair profile pics, but also censorship from these platforms who have protected the rainbow hair mob for years. Unless your bio includes the pronouns BIGOT, boop, of course, and then refuse to bend the knee and apologize, you will most certainly be canceled for that. Changing and boasting about your personal pronouns is just a fad from the younger population, and it's just as dumb and attention-seeking as the Tide Pod eating challenge was. And I can tell you I'd rather eat a Tide Pod than sit there and use your made-up personal pronouns just to make you feel better about yourself. If you speak common sense and go against these activists at Lucasfilm and Disney, you get fired. If you believe in and spread this agenda, the gates are wide open for you in the entertainment industry. Activist actors and actresses in Hollywood, such as Amanda Stenberg, who somehow happens to be so oppressed by coming from a millionaire family and starring as not one, but two main roles in the Star Wars Acolyte series, had the audacity to release a music video of her singing about oppression for Juneteenth. It must be hard to be so oppressed that you are paid millions of dollars to live a life of luxury and spread your gender LGBTQ propaganda for children with zero consequences for your actions. This week's episode of The Acolyte brought yet another extremely boring episode with an obvious plot reveal of who the masked antagonist was, who the internet commonly referred to as Smilo Ren. After one of the Padawans was killed in a fight, Master Soul cries out for the slain character named Jackie. Smilo Ren says, "Was that its name?" prompting Master Soul to respond, "She was a child." People don't speak like this. The world does not operate this way. At least in the midst of committing a murder, Smilo Ren refused to misgender this person he just killed. Because of all the sins to commit, misgendering in the minds of these left activists is worse than murder. This has all been another play in the hard press for large corporations such as Disney to get your kids talking about their pronouns, as if it's as simple as customizing a character at the start of a video game. It's wrong and delusional to keep pretending the exchange and usage of pronouns is done in the name of kindness and inclusion. If the annoying and self-righteous activists making this crap content would just shut their mouths and open their ears for half a second, they would hear the real message the vast majority of the audience wants conveyed. And that's leave the kids alone. If you would like a complete breakdown of how we ended up with The Acolyte and how Disney and Lucasfilm attempted to normalize the spread of the alphabet soup agenda in their content, check out my previous video linked in the description. The train wreck has yet to stop. Stay tuned for further.